Howdy, hello, and welcome to the 16th episode of the Preferred Podcast. I'm your host, director, producer, writer, composer, editor, actor, PA, CEO, janitor, manager, president, vice president, HR, employee of the month, secretary, and set designer, Sajay Preferred.
And I'm the Heart of Alabama and the co-host of this prestigious podcast, Amber Valentine. The
Preferred With 16 candles blown out,
it's time for our 16th episode.
And what better way to start than with the topic of Slay?
Slay!
We're jumping to the year 3000 and going back to the future for our topic of Slay, the future.
Slay.
So, how far in the future exactly? Well, that's kind of up to mind. We're going to, in different topics, we're going to be talking about, like, past our future, or maybe our future with some certain items. But starting off with future past our time. So what age do you think you're going to die?
I don't know. I've always thought that I'd die at like 40.
Yeah, I don't see myself living to the 50s.
But then again, my family is very good at living until they're like 87, like mid to late 80s. So I'll probably a little longer.
And I mean, that's no respect to those who are older. I just do not see that for myself. You know, so my future for myself probably does not go past the year. What year is it? 2024. Probably does not go past the year 2040. What? That's 20 years, right? I'm 23. I don't see myself living past 43.
It'd be like 16 years.
That ain't right.
24 plus 6 is 30. Plus 10 is 40. So it'd be 16
Okay,
years.
well, so 2040. That's still not correct.
So 16, you just turned 23.
Gay math.
So 30 plus 6, so you'll be 39. In 2040, you'll be 39.
Okay, well, then 2050, I see
you'll
myself.
49.
Okay, yeah. By 50, I see myself no longer existing. So therefore, my future ends by 2050. Right, that's what I said. 2050. Okay, so I don't even see myself making it to the year 3000. I don't think anyone does.
No, not in this lifetime. They don't.
So with that, where do you see? Like, do you see the future progressing, or do you just see it like slowly at a decline to the point where just the world explodes? Well, what do you see for the future of humanity?
I feel like the world itself isn't going to make it to year 3000 because I think it's just going to keep going downhill like it has been. Yeah. Personally.
And I mean, like, I don't know. Isn't there like a whole like doomsday clock and it's already like struck like 20
But the world was also supposed to end like 20 different times.
I mean, that's because of like stupid theories, like 2012, the Mayan calendar. People were like, the people of Mayans didn't write calendars past 2012. Yeah, they probably died.
Or all the people talking about the rapture that was supposed to happen during the solar eclipse.
Yeah, like if my biggest thing when it comes to religion and the end of the world, the rapture, so on and so forth, it literally states in the Bible, if it's talked about, if it's known of, it won't happen.
Exactly.
So the more you talk about it, the more it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. Like, that doesn't really make sense to me at all.
I know that. You might want to tell the Christians that.
Whatever. But in the future, for ourselves, where do you see the future of, like, yourself? Do you see yourself doing drag? And we'll stick with the year 2050. In the year 2050, where do you see yourself?
Let's see, in 2050, 54 in 2050. So I'm hoping to still do drag, maybe if I'm still alive. I'll probably be in a wheelchair when doing it, or at least like on crutches. I'll use the crutches as like a pole or something.
Okay, well, going back to like even less than then, because I see myself dead by 2050. So 10 years. So it's 2033. 2034. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Definitely still doing drag. Hopefully, I've been on Drag Race by then.
Wow.
Hopefully.
Wow.
Hopefully. Well, I mean, there's other queens that think they're polished and have applied multiple.
That's a future for your drag, though. That's not what I asked.
Well, hopefully, I'm living my life through drag by then.
Okay. That's okay.
I want to be full-time drag girl.
That's not shit, but it's like where, what, when, like girl.
Well, where? I don't know. Somewhere that's not Birmingham. When? 10 years from now. How? By the grace of God, hopefully.
You're so boring.
Who? Me.
You're so boring.
No, I'm just kidding. Definitely probably like hopefully in the next 5 years, like Atlanta and Nashville, somewhere with like a huge drag scene to be able to boost my drag.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely gonna be career wise, hopefully leaning more towards in the next 10 years, like fashion design kind of thing. So we'll see.
So your drag leaning towards more. I could Jombers blonde say you're a fashion girl, but where's the fashion?
We'll find out once I start making it, girl.
Anyways, I definitely see myself. I mean, even within less than 5 years, I see myself out of Alabama. But that's the main thing I see for my future, and of course, doing drag. Duh, Lord, everyone knew that. We didn't have to point that out the first 2 seconds.
For all I know, they can't believe that I'm really quitting drag, girl.
And I also see myself, if not doing drag full time, then definitely with a job that's like where I can like still hyper focus on drag, but in a career span that I like and enjoy, not restaurant. Restaurant serving is not fun, even if it's not really a restaurant. it's still not fun.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see drag changing any by that time in 10 years?
Oh, 100%.
I mean, do you ideally see drag still being a thing then?
I definitely think that it's going to be, especially because there's so many baby queens and kings and things that are coming out now in drag that I think in the next 10 years we might have too much drag.
I mean, we are near getting to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, a lot, that's a constant thing is, drag is always becoming oversaturated, especially the more and more you get with Drag Race, which we'll get into that. But it's always a fear, and I feel like a lot of it is mainly the fear of attention. Like, of course, the more you get into it, the less opportunities become available and so on and so forth, because obviously the amount of queens or entertainers can expand, but that doesn't always mean the amount of venues and clubs are going to expand as well.
Or even budgets too.
Exactly. I mean, and even like, it often leads people to like become like when they're first starting like social media entertainers or TikTok queens or so on and so forth, because it is that immediate attention when they can't go to the stage, because all of the people who have been doing it for a hot minute rightfully have the stage for themselves. And I know that sounds wrong, but it's the truth. The longer you do it,
it's a seniority thing.
Yeah. However, like it's always a worry for queens, but I definitely feel like drag has been in constant state since at least 50 years, since at least Stonewall, if not longer. And I don't feel like if it's went anywhere and it's only gotten bigger and bigger and bigger since then, it's not going anywhere anytime soon, especially within the next 50 years. Because it's constantly evolving. Like I remember drag phases of 2012, like when you had, your more clubby kids, and then you had your more like pageanty. And, we even talked recently about how pageantry and drag went away for a hot minute and now it's coming back. And so I feel like history always repeats itself, and drag definitely is going to repeat itself. The future, I feel like the future as a whole, not even including drag, it's just going to be a constant repetition of what we've already seen.
And it'll just be getting better every time.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully. For the world as a whole, I can't make any promises. But for drag, I mean, I think we're still going up. I don't even think we're at the top of the hill yet. And, yeah, I say that. I say that confidently because we're still having bumps. You don't really still have bumps when you're at the top of the hill. The top of the hill should be flat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a big spot that we need to focus on is the whole political side of it,
Yeah.
especially.
And I mean,
right
I feel like that's another huge like scare when it comes to, the oversaturation. But I feel like that's because of the oversaturation, because it's becoming so popular that now it's in the eyes of everyone. And now everyone who has a view on it, even if it is negative or repulsive against it, they're still shown to it. They're still, in the range of being able to have an opinion on it. So they're going to express it. And I mean, that's, the alleged point of America is everyone has freedom and, freedom of speech, freedom of right, whatever, so on and so forth. But,
apparently not us, girl.
Yeah, allegedly. I don't feel like it's ever going to get to a point where it actually is able to be banned, or, you know what I mean? Because going back to what I was just saying, where everyone is allegedly supposed to have the freedom of speech, and that's a freedom of speech. The drag is literally a big, huge freedom of speech.
It's literally the very first thing on the laws of America.
Yeah. And of course, the bans specifically with Alabama, a lot of them are going against drag around schools or drag around churches or drag in front of kids in general. And ideally, when you really break it down to it, it doesn't really affect the normal drag scene, which is nightclubs, because obviously children are not going to be around that. However, as a whole, it's the idea of it, and also it's still putting a target on drag as a whole or the community. It's a small step to what they're trying to do.
Right.
But I think that small step is not enough, in my opinion. And that's why, everyone panics and everyone freaks out. And I'm just like, yeah, it's definitely something to be worried about. But at the end of the day, it's not something that we haven't seen before. And it's not going to get as far as they think it is.
Exactly.
It's either immediate, especially with, a lot of people give him, bad credit, but especially with Joe Biden in office, that's...
Well, only until November, girl.
And I mean, this is true.
Because I have a feeling he may not get reelected.
Well, I feel like you have to be fully functioning to get reelected.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
But from my understanding, you also cannot be impeached and get elected again. So it takes care of the Cheetos issue.
Maybe we're finally just gonna get to make our own decisions.
Yeah.
And we just don't have a president anymore.
Randomly bringing up, speaking of politics, do you think politics is going to change any in the future? Do you think we'll still have, like, presidential elections and...
I mean, I think so, because, I mean, that's the way it's been for how many centuries now?
Oh, Lord.
I mean, George Washington as our first president.
Well, we're on 55.
So I feel like that's something... I feel like if it is something that changes, it's going to be probably like closer to year 3000, but I definitely feel like it's going to stay the same. I'm hoping the views of politics change, especially with the younger generations that we have starting, that are, more open to things. So,
I mean, I feel like politics really is just game now. Like, it's a whole, like, TV show at this point. It's not even really a correct playing field of what it's supposed to be. So, I mean, if anything, I definitely hope it changes, but I unfortunately don't see it going away anytime soon, specifically just because of the entertainment purpose alone.
Exactly.
So, although I really don't ever see, I mean, in the current time, politics going away because of that main factor of it being entertainment and people thriving off of it, I definitely don't see it lasting forever, especially with all the secrets that have come out. But once again, I feel like people are thriving on that. People are like, ooh, juicy tea from the government, And with, like, the whole UFOs and stuff and the whole, like, conspiracies popping up left and right and social media being such a huge platform to share these ideas and these stories and these theories, it's only, like, tearing down the walls of the government. And I feel like it's only going to be thus long before they are like, oh, well, our gig is up. Might as well come clean.
Well, I don't think they're gonna get rid of dividing the country until the country, us ourselves, decide to come together as one. Because our country is so divided. It's more divided than Jesus part in the Red Sea.
But I mean, I feel like they want our country divided. They want like the spike of attention from both sides, or they want the fuel to make a social war. You know what I mean? And that's what politics is now. That exactly it's literally entertainment, and they're using other things such as stories and news, or news as a whole, to spike the entertainment or to spike the views from what they're putting out. And I mean, going back to UFOs, like that was a huge spike in news and in, government stories as a whole. Like I had never seen as many people, like official people, talking about UFOs, or what is the new term for it? UFCs or UFPs or something like that. There's like a new official term for it.
I know it's a UFO.
Do you see like anything else coming from that? Do you see like that popping off in the future?
I think it definitely will, especially because they've went so long not talking about it, and then all of a sudden that's like one of their number one topics. So I definitely feel like it's going to be carried on for a little while longer, for sure.
And I mean, if not even like them, I definitely see like the extraterrestrial life beings making their way.
Appearance.
Yeah. They're like, hey, it's our time, girlies. We need to show up and show out.
Everyone says the rapture is going because Jesus is coming. It's going to be because the aliens are coming, girl.
I mean, I'm a believer that the aliens really aren't harmful. I definitely think they're just another life form, and I don't know. I'm a believer that the pyramids maybe were not human beings. And I definitely feel like other things, like also when you think about the Statue of Liberty, like that's a different story as a whole. Like even the moving and the recreating of the Statue of Liberty, like I don't know, weird things. But I point being of that is I don't think these other life beings are harmful. I think they've always been helpful. And I think the government now is trying to turn around and make them a fear because of what we've seen in past government. Like, what is it called when, it's like a whole theory when they like put things in media to like convey a message and get into people's head. Sublimatory messages. I think that's what it's called. Like, cartoons, like Looney Tunes of the 9/11 towers exploding in the back before 9/11 even happened. Or like, Mars attack before like...
Are you talking about like conspiracy theories?
No, they're called subliminal messages.
Oh, because I know like there's the Simpson conspiracy theories.
I mean, that's a different story that they like predict the future or whatever. But no, this is like, I have a feeling they've been doing this all along to kind of like be like, oh, they're trying to like make themselves known. Hey, let's shut it down. let's make them look like the bad guys. You know what I mean? Let's make everyone else afraid of them so that we can have all the communication with them. So I don't know.
I'm curious.
I am too.
I definitely feel aliens eventually are going to just start appearing out of the middle of nowhere.
I do too. Do you think there's any queer aliens?
Oh, 100%.
Do you think there's any drag queen aliens?
Oh, 100%.
They're just like,
have you not seen American Dad?
I mean, that's fair. That is fair. And I'm a strong believer in Roger. I feel like Roger would definitely be the real one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm ready to meet Roger. Come on, Roger. Come on.
But speaking of aliens from the future doing drag, where do you see Drag Race in the future?
RuPaul's definitely going to be the first one abducted.
Yeah,
sure.
I know RuPaul is the alien. That's how she's continuously going. She's not even... Raven's not even doing her makeup. She's just like forming into... Yeah.
And I can definitely see RuPaul's extraterrestrial Drag Race. So, slay. I definitely... The future of drag is definitely about to change because Ru's gonna step down, I foresee in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to have a big change, but I'm hoping that it's still going to be as big as what it is and runs as long as what it does. I think right now they're going to transition Michelle in to take place until they can find the correct person to completely take over the whole franchise. That being a drag queen, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I hope it's going to be around for a lot longer.
Yeah, I mean, I've always, I'm surprised she's even made it this long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, season 6 or 7 has been my, thinking of, not too much longer now, you know what I mean? Like, so to think that she's doubled the time frame of that is just kind of draggy to me.
They're working on casting for season 17 right now.
And it's inevitable. Like, RuPaul, she's a human being, and no matter the theories, she is a human being. So of course she's going to age. And I mean, she's already up there in age and still maintaining to do drag on a weekly basis. And, we put it together that she was doing so many different franchises of Drag Race, like hosting them, that she was doing drag essentially year round.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I mean, we do that, but we don't do it like every single day,
mm-hmm.
clock in, clock out as a business. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, she was even doing drag for the other franchises that she wasn't even a part of, because like Canada and Philippines have her messages.
She's constantly recording something for, and I mean, that gets wearing, and drag is wearing. It wears people down. Like, of course, she's not performing anymore because she has moved way past that, but it's still the fact of, like, on your skin, corseting, putting on pads, even if it is for 2 seconds till you take them off,
mm-hmm.
that it's still, like, putting a wig on, having it, like, rip your head, like, it hurts. It's very taxing on your body.
Mm-hmm.
So for her to still to continue do it, and, like, flying places to do it, I was gagged it took that long. And so whenever the news came out that, she was no longer hosting Down Under and that Michelle was taking her place, I was not shocked at all. I was like, of course, it's the lowest rating one, the one that does not do the best at all. And it makes perfect sense for Michelle to take over, because Michelle has always been her co-host for Down Under as well. So I thought it made perfect sense. And I thought it was the starting of the finish. Like we were talking about the other day, I think it's going to start with Down Under, and then it's going to go from that to her no longer hosting UK, and then to her only doing like regular season All-Star and UK versus the world, and then eventually not even UK versus the world. Mm. I definitely feel like it's going to be like 5 years from now before she starts fading it out. Mm-hmm. But I can see by like season 25 her either only hosting the regular seasons or her like fading out.
Mm-hmm. So do you see someone taking over All Stars and her only doing just regular, or do you think she'll go All Stars and regular till the end?
I think she'll go till the end. I don't see Drag Race lasting as RuPaul's Drag Race without RuPaul. Mm-hmm. Like, they took RuPaul, which I don't know. I always thought it was just Down Under, but apparently they took RuPaul's name out of Down Under. I don't know if that's true. I don't think it will be the same without RuPaul, and I don't know if RuPaul would want to let it go. Mm-hmm. So I think when RuPaul leaves regular RuPaul's Drag Race, it's done.
Now,
like it will just be canceled.
Do you think that's going to have an effect on Ru Girls if Drag Race is never a thing anymore, or once Ru leaves the scene? Do you think that it's going to affect their bookings? It's going to affect their popularity?
If it gets canceled?
Yeah.
No, I think if anything, they'll probably try to do a spinoff of, like, someone will probably try to do a spinoff of it. I just don't think RuPaul will, like, give it to another queen. Because if you think about it, we don't even have Drag Race guest judges on Drag Race. And I don't want to say it's like a vain thing, like an image issue. But it's just theories, you know what I mean? And I mean, respectfully, so she should be the only. I would want to be the only queen on the panel if I had that opportunity, but I don't know. I don't think she's ever going to give it to another. I've always said Trixie Mattel, and
I can see Trixie.
I at first thought that's why Trixie Mattel was a guest judge on Queen of the Universe to kind of, give her a little step into judging and see how it is. But I don't think she would ever do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I also don't see RuPaul letting a Drag Race queen judge other Drag Race queens for an all-star season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's already kind of weird for Canada versus the world.
Right. I mean, I could see it being okay with it, if you've won an All-Stars, as Trixie has, or you've won a regular season, as, we're about to have 16 winners of.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that would kind of, if a drag queen were to take over, you would definitely want to pick a winner of one of the two, because that does put them above the others that are competing because they've won.
I mean, I agree. I just don't think RuPaul will ever do
right.
that. Like, full set to you.
Well, I guess we'll see in the next 5 years.
And I also feel like if they do end up canceling it, the others will probably stay on.
Mm.
Like, Canada's will probably stay on, because Canada's does really, really well in Canada. So, Philippines will probably stay on. Like, they'll probably still, because they're all produced by RuPaul and through World of Wonder, but they're not all, like, Crave is the one who puts out Canada versus the World.
Mm.
So it's not all through World of Wonder or so on and so forth. So I definitely feel like it will still continue into the future, no matter who, when, I think it really, RuPaul herself is starting to think of other options.
Mm. Yeah. I could definitely see Canada versus the World kicking off a little bit more too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because it is an American, drag race winner that hosts it.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely see Canada versus the World being kicked off a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So before we jump to the future, let's stay focused in the moment with season 16.
Which brings us to our weekly segment of
Rate These
Queens. All these queens are reunited for this juicy SmackDown episode of Drag Race.
So let's turn our view to a review.
So Q just went home.
Yeah, about time.
Yeah, it's honestly finally, in my opinion.
I am not mad with her placement, though.
Mm-hmm.
She has done very well this whole competition, so I'm definitely not mad with where she was placed.
I mean, she was, 4th place? I feel like that's an iconic placement, and it was kind of awkward. But honestly, I really couldn't see Q being a winner, so I feel like it was kind of fit,
Just be honest, you don't see Q doing a lip sync because she can't.
I mean, that's why I don't see her being a winner. Yeah. Well, also, I think if you're a winner of Drag Race, you're obviously going to go around the world performing. I think you definitely had to be able to perform.
Especially when you're out of the country performing.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean like bug the house down, splits, cartwheels. No, that just means move your body and not look like a noodle.
Or walk.
Yeah. So that was already my issue with her, and that's why I did not see her making it. I mean, regardless as the winner, but into the top. And it made perfect sense when she was eliminated.
Oh, 100%.
It felt like it was correct. But ultimately, it doesn't matter because we find out immediately within this episode that the queens are back.
Yeah.
Guess who's back?
Back again.
Anyways, they walk back into the workroom, and to my knowledge, the eliminated queens don't know what they're back here for. They're like all kind of like shocked and like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like they know they're coming back for something, but they don't know it's a lip sync SmackDown. And obviously the queens there don't know yet because RuPaul hasn't said anything. But even in the confessionals, like they don't know. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, right, because they didn't know until RuPaul said, let the music play.
Out of, a few of the people, I'm excited to see a few. Mirage being the main one.
Mm-hmm.
But Amanda, I'm also excited to see. And she states that the top 3 is, quote unquote, mostly correct, which I agree with. She obviously is not happy to see Plain there, but that's her opinion and hers only.
Mm-hmm.
Maya brings her share back, and immediately I'm like, God, please, no, get it out. Stop it, turn off the TV. RuPaul then states that is the lip sync Lollapalooza SmackDown, and I am so excited already. This is to determine the queen of She Been Done Already Done had herses, and the winner of $50,000.
Slay.
So this is also a quote unquote reunion episode, and I know a lot of people were upset about this. I don't really care. The reunion episodes are kind of boring to me.
I was sad I never watched.
Yeah, they're. I mean, I always watch them, and yes, some of them are interesting, but sometimes. And I get it. It's supposed to be like reality series, like, Housewives of Atlanta, when they all get together with, what's his name? Anderson Cooper, I think that's his name. And they do like the reunion style. That's what it's supposed to be. It's just always been kind of boring to me. I've never really been a fan of it. So I love this form of a reunion. Mirage is immediately called out for her losing of a lip sync, for not knowing the words. However, she is being underestimated, which is what Tsunami says, and she's ready to turn it out. And we do see this, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Tsunami is finally being shown, which I thought was funny because we have never seen her this much the entire season. However, when it actually becomes to the SmackDown, kind of glad she fades. Immediately, people keep talking about Maya versus Morphine. They're ready to see the revenge lip sync SmackDown, and
I was too, though.
No, well, it doesn't happen. We
for sure thought it was going to, though.
I mean, Maya openly states that she is here for revenge. That she wants to take Morphine down after she apparently gave only 65% the first time choices were made, because I don't know why you're only giving 65% when you should be giving 165%.
Well, and even if she gave 165%, her attempt of, unaliving Morphine there for a moment was definitely going to send her home.
Yeah. And I mean, everyone is against kind of Maya in the moment. They're one, confused why she only gave 65%. They're two, scared to go against her. And they're three, wanting this revenge. So they're like kind of just anything to stay away from her, stay clear of her in this moment, which I definitely don't blame them. But then we get into the new stage,
which is kind of sickening.
It is very sickening.
I'm obsessed with
it. A very brand new live audience, and RuPaul is looking stellar tonight on this runway, this brand new runway. This runway is kind of giving me like The Voice. I don't know. She says brand new stage, and I'm wondering if this is like officially like for all the seasons, but I don't think it is. I honestly think it's just going to be for this and the finale.
I'll say, is this telling us that this is our live finale?
Yeah. So, because, there has been rumors that it's not at a big, like, theater venue anymore, that it's a live, allegedly taped finale. So, yeah, that's very much so what this possibly could be. We find out that this lip sync SmackDown, Lollapalooza SmackDown, is, of course, told by the balls.
Yeah. We love when they're told by the balls.
Yeah. Told by the balls.
Love balls.
Yeah. Bingo balls is what it's giving.
Bingo
also,
balls.
we found out the top three come to the stage and they had to get ready for nothing.
Literally just to sit there and watch.
I'd be so pissed. Like Deja in season 14. Got ready for nothing.
And not even sit there and watch. Sit there in the other room. The other part of the stage and watch.
Yeah. And, as you were saying, they do get to go back to the untucked, quote unquote, lounge to view everything. And it's kind of interesting because quite to what we've had in the past seasons, the queen who is eliminated or not moving on to the next round is the one who goes back to the untake to like watch everything with them. And it's kind of weird because it's always been vice versa, but it does make sense, obviously. So let's get into these lip syncs, and we're going to be rating each individual lip sync and picking out our favorites before we tell out who wins, or if we agree with the win. So first up, we have Dawn, who is picked by the Magical Ball, and she picks Amanda. We kind of see that she does this for song purposes, and also because, they're girlfriends.
Which I think Amanda's probably closer to Dawn's vibe than all the rest, so I definitely agree with this choice. And
those who are picked get to pick the song, so Amanda picks Damaged by Identity Kane. I don't know if I like the song. It's okay. Anyways, Amanda serves us lip sync. She really does.
I'm
deserves
very impressed with Amanda.
Absolute.
And I'm not gonna lie, her face has gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Since she's been gone.
But overall, this lip sync was kind of boring.
Yeah.
It was very, lackluster in my opinion, and it was honestly sloppy. Amanda served for 2 seconds and then immediately got sloppy in my opinion. And Dawn did nothing.
Yeah, Dawn was sloppy the whole time.
Dawn did absolutely nothing. So for the first starter off lip sync, it was not very impressive. And for me, it was a 3.
Mine was a 7, and that's solely because Amanda did a lot better than I thought she was going to, and Dawn did a lot worse than I thought she was going to, so it was really just a genuine surprise for me.
The outcome of this being Amanda was the winner, and I do agree with this. Mm-hmm. It was, rightfully so.
Winner, chicken dinner.
That honestly did not affect my score at all for this, just solely because, it was still a very lackluster lip sync. I don't know if I agreed with it at all. In the sense of it happening.
Right.
Yeah. Secondly, Q is picked by the magical ball and ends up picking Megami, which everyone finds funny because she thinks it's because Megami is the weakest lip syncer or performer. And this obviously bites her in the ass immediately.
Megami really turns it.
But Megami picks the song What About from Janet Jackson. Mm-hmm. And she is kind of gagged why Q picked her because she says, baby, I'm Latina. I can dance. Mm-hmm. I can move. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're about to serve it.
Right.
And she does. Mm-hmm. She whips Q's ass. When she picks the song, Q immediately drops her face and gets scared.
Yep.
Fiercely.
Immediately. She was terrified.
Yeah. This lip sync overall was mainly because Q was doing her portion of the lip sync, and I don't agree. Mm-hmm. Q was literally like a worm.
I'm so weak.
Yeah. But through this, Megami wins, thankfully, and I agree with this. So I'm going to give it a 6.
I'm going to give it an 8, and that's solely because Megami should have just been Silky versus Silky all over again because Megami really turned that stage out.
Not Silky versus Silky. Next up, Morphine is picked by the magical ball, and she ends up picking Geneva Vroom Vroom Car, which I'm not going to lie, I feel like everyone was gagged about. We all thought that she was going to immediately pick Maya, but I think she was saving up her energy. I think she was like, let me just wait, breathe. And since Geneva is picked by Morphine, Geneva gets to pick the song, and she picks $1 Million Baby by Ava Max. I hate the song. I hate the song so much. But I'm not going to lie. Geneva serves.
They both did.
Yeah.
I was very impressed.
Geneva did do a lot. At first, she took off her reveal way too soon, and she was bucking the entire time. I'll give her that.
And I really did not like her hair.
She came out at a 10 with the bucking at first, and I was like, "Girl, you can calm down a little. You can breathe. You can chill."
She needed to start slower.
Yeah,
give it time for that reveal to actually happen.
And Morphine did have that build up, and she also did that little nail moment into the windmill. I thought it was everything. Because of obviously, Morphine wins because obviously.
Duh.
Geneva did give her a run for her money, but I agree with Morphine, and I give it an 8.
I give this one a 9.
Wow.
It really was a boost compared to the first two, and yeah, Geneva definitely come wanting to prove something, and I definitely think that she proved it.
It was definitely up there in one of my favorites for sure. Next up, Mirage is picked by the magical ball, and she ends up picking Hershey because why not? Easy competition, and I definitely don't blame her. Hershey ends up picking Alone 2.0 by Kim Petras and Nicki Minaj, hoping that it will throw hoping that it will throw Mirage off with the lyrics, and she is known for not knowing her lyrics in her first lip sync. I thought they were both playing on tactics, strengths and weaknesses, mainly weaknesses, and a
Mirage
strength of
weaknesses. That rap.
Yeah, but Mirage definitely pulled through. She gave a lot of stunts. She was very much so swifting on the floor, and she was serving it. And through this, Mirage wins, which I 1000% agree with. Hershey, in my opinion, did nothing. You said she served it, but I was like, she literally just walked around on stage. She started
serving at the beginning, and then
her hair was messy.
Yeah, and after that, I just lost it.
Yeah.
I talk about a fantastic comeback from Mirage, though.
Yeah,
fantastic.
She did it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Mirage really served it through with this, and I give it a high up score of 7 for me.
I give it a 9.
Wow, you're rating high.
Mirage really... It should have been Silky versus Silky all over again with Mirage, because Mirage really... I wish Mirage actually had a competition.
The main reason I put it down so low is because I was paying 0% attention to Hershey. And I feel like I wanted, like, at least with Geneva versus Morphine, I was paying attention to both, because I was like, oh, like, they're both doing so much. You know what I mean? And yeah. I don't know. Hershey was doing, like, nothing, in my opinion. At all. Lastly, we had the 3 remaining queens, Maya versus Plasma versus Tsunami, to the song Milkshake by Karis. And Maya gets to pick this song, pick up the ball, of course. We also found out that the winner of this lip sync immediately goes to the semifinals. And the losers, obviously, they don't go anywhere. They go to the lounge. They suck.
I was gagged about that.
This song was an interesting song, and I'm going to put it out there because it might have been a determining factor in my rating. I hate 3-way lip syncs. I hate more than 2 because it's already hard enough for me to focus on 2 people, let alone more than 2.
Right.
So I was immediately like, no, why did we do this? Can we not do this?
Good thing we only have one person to focus on, though.
Yeah. Well, with that, I mean, Maya was the only standout one here. And even then, like, I don't know, she, like, faded in the background because there was so much chaos. Like, Plasma taking off her horrible wig to another horrible wig. Plasma, like, yanking her body to the center immediately when the music started. Tsunami looking like a clown in the background, like, just sitting there. It was so bad. This lip sync was horrible. To me, it was a 1. Even Maya obviously won, but that was like from the second the music started, I knew that was gonna happen.
First off, can we talk about how Maya didn't have a body on? And she looked better without a body than she does with a body. But I give this a 3. I really did not like it. Maya herself did not even bring her potential.
Yeah, it was definitely the least good one out of literally all of them. Going into the next round, we have the winners being Amanda, Megami, Morphine, Mirage, and Maya.
Slay.
Oh my god, they all have M's.
I made that comment, except for Amanda.
Well, I mean, Amanda
Moore. Amanda Marie Mo.
So far out of these, do you have a standout from these lip syncs?
Definitely Megami. Megami is really kicking it.
I'm gonna say Mirage.
Mirage is very close to that.
Yeah.
Morphine, obviously, she's very good.
Yeah, Mirage is hands down my fave so far. Starting off the semifinals, we have T-Ball picking Amanda, who picks Megami, thinking it's, the weakest link. LOL. Megami picks the song, the Shoo Shoo song by the one, the only Cher. Smart girl. Yeah, she releases this song. In my opinion, she's the highlight of it. Not Megami. Amanda fades immediately because she just does everything, and she does this little lip syncing moment with her hands. It was the moment. Megami really proved that you don't need stunts to be a good performer.
And didn't Megami say that this is one specific song that she performs quite often and she does very well? Yeah.
So she definitely, I felt like, went into it with knowing what she was going to do and knowing how to take the crown for this song. And she was being smart about it. And when a lot of people were kicking her down. And for this, she wins this lip sync. And I rightfully agree. And I give her a 6. Yeah.
I give it a 7. And that's solely because Amanda could have done better. Yeah. I wonder if she just kind of whipped out after her first one and just didn't have the stamina for the second one, especially with the amount of energy Megami gave, but she kind of fell back a little bit.
Yeah. And I mean, it's hard to keep up the stamina, but it's something you should be used to. I would think of it as no problem because it's mainly 3 lip syncs. In a drag show, you do 3 back-to-back numbers.
Well, and if anything, I wouldn't waste all my stamina on the first number.
Literally. Yeah. Next up, we have Mirage versus Morphine, and they are chosen by fate. And Mirage is picked to choose the song, and she picked This Time I Know It's For Real by the legendary Donna Summer. I thought this was a very interesting song because obviously Mirage is not known for doing a slower song. And Morphine obviously wouldn't be either because she's a bucking queen, but she has lip synced to a slower song, so we know what to expect from her. And in Mirage, we really don't know what to expect at this moment, but through and through, I feel like they both kind of serve equally, in my opinion. Like, it's pretty meh, fair lip sync. I don't think there's really any gags. I don't know. I thought it was pretty mediocre.
I mean, I thought the competition between the two itself was better than Morphine and Geneva because they actually were at the same level during this lip sync. So, I mean, I personally gave it a 10. I really thought it was clean, and I personally loved it.
I gave it a 5. I thought it was mediocre. I honestly kind of forgot most about it.
And like you said, Mirage don't typically do slower songs. So I thought she actually did pretty good for it.
I mean, they both did good, but through this we see Morphine does win. She is the one to take the final crown on this lip sync.
I wish they were able to change their outfits in between lip syncs. I hate seeing the same outfit every time.
Bringing the remaining queens back, we find out a gag that they now are picked to pick another entertainer, to pick someone to go against. We found out Megami is the person who the ball chooses, and Megami has to pick either Maya or Morphine to go up against, which honestly, stressful already. And she ends up choosing Maya, which means Morphine immediately goes to the finale to lip sync against whoever wins this lip sync. And Maya picks the song We Got the Beat by the Go-Go's, which I thought was a very interesting choice. This was a pretty gaggy lip sync. I'm not going to lie, I thought Maya whipped Megami's ass. I thought Maya did incredible. Megami did too, but like Maya was just serving every moment.
Well, and I mean, Megami kind of took a cheat out. Of some words too. Even though she kind of had a backup trick for it, that was kind of funny. I feel like she still should have got knocked for that because when you're lip syncing, it's you lip syncing, not your hand lip syncing. So I definitely thought Maya was gonna win that one for sure, and I was genuinely gagged that Megami beat her.
I was about to say, through this, we find out Megami does win. And I give it an 8. It was a pretty good lip sync. Like I said, I thought Maya was truly going to win. But yeah, I give it an 8.
I also give it an 8.
And lastly, because of Megami winning this, she moves on to face against Morphine to the song Gonna Make You Sweat by CNC Factory Music. This was a very, very interesting lip sync song. And, you know, a lot of people clocked out, even Maya in the episode, that Megami did not know the male lyrics to this song. That's why she did the puppet instead of her lip syncing. And she ended up saying that this was true. And I feel like that had a contributing factor to the ending result, which if that doesn't give it away, Morphine does win. But I rightfully agree with Morphine winning because this body, she served. She was hands down the moment on the stage for this lip sync. I thought Morphine was the best. And this lip sync was so like funny and also good. It was just really, really good.
And we all get BBLs.
Yeah, we all get BBLs. I give this lip sync a 10 though.
I give it a 9. Megami just really killed me with that small 1 minute of the puppet. It just killed me. It killed me. But that's the only reason why I dropped it down to 9, because I genuinely am very impressed with Megami. After her run on the season, her run in this Lollapalooza was killer. It's
definitely, I feel like she was the person no one expected. Yeah.
I definitely didn't. We both actually didn't say a whole lot about Megami when we were talking about who we were excited to come back.
Through this, though, we find out that Morphine is the winner of She Done Already Done Had Hers Is, winning $50,000. And this last lip sync actually had our highest score of 19. So it goes for, I guess, our favorite lip sync. I definitely feel like it was definitely one of the most memorable. And the least favorite being Maya versus Plasma and Tsunami with 4. Wow. Wow. So Morphine claims that she is the ultimate lip sync assassin. Do you agree with this?
Nope.
I don't agree with this.
It's definitely Morphine. Oh wait, I'm backwards. I said that backwards. It was definitely Maya during the season.
You go. Do you think even like staying in a chance of like other seasons entertainers or other season lip sync assassins, Morphine would still have a chance?
I think she would. I mean, I think Morphine is definitely one of the top performers of the season. Mm-hmm. She's just not the top performer. So I definitely think she A, had a chance in this season, and B, would have a chance in general.
Mm-hmm. I definitely think she's a fantastic entertainer. I just feel like she is kind of limited to one stick. So yeah, she's a great lip sync assassin, but maybe not, period. Maybe not even of the season. Mm-hmm. I feel like Maya could do a little bit more.
I mean, really the only thing that kind of pushes me in more favor of Morphine than Maya is Morphine doesn't rely on tricks to win like Maya does.
Well,
A, they're not the same trick every time. And B, if I could hold a split for 30-something seconds without even shaking, that's sickening.
But anyways, next episode we find out is the grand finale. And we have our top three. So we have Nymphia, we have Sapphira, and then we have Plain Jane. Who are you rooting for to take the crown?
My vote is definitely on Plain Jane, even though I know who's going to win.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm definitely team Sapphira Crystal, the one for all. And I definitely think she's going to take the crown.
She's going to take the crown. Yeah. We already know.
Yeah.
But my pick would be Plain Jane if I didn't know she was going to win.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget to catch the new season of RuPaul's Drag Race on MTV every Friday.
And of course, come to the channel every Wednesday to listen to us rate these queens.
New. With the top three waiting for their crown, we're down to one more episode of the podcast, but several new things to come, so let's get into it. Starting off with the most recent video on the YouTube, The Preferred Few, episode 10 with Flapjack, all the way from Can't Wanna Kiki, from stages to screens and all those in betweens. It's Flapjack.
Yeah.
This is a pretty funny video. It's the longest video, coming in at 56 minutes. I think the past video was only 43 minutes. That was longest. So yeah, for our 10th episode, we were going big, and not only with the guest being a TV star, but also the longest episode.
Can we call her a celebrity at this point?
It's a pretty gaggy episode. She's definitely giving celebrity status for sure. And I definitely feel like she was the perfect fit for the 10th episode.
Yeah.
And she is a milestone in the Preferred Few, and there's so many more to come. There's literally, I have a filming of the Preferred Few this Friday.
Oh, slay.
Yeah, with the next guest. So stay tuned for that. It will be weeks before. It's actually May, the first week of May. I believe that it's planning to come out. So don't try to put two and two together. Just, if you don't know, leave it at B, and you will find out very, very soon. But with that brings me to the Preferred Few forms. So if you would like to be on the Preferred Few, there is a form you can find on any of my socials. There's actually a brand new video that is now out that is like a little teaser for the form, as well as on my website. It is all there. And if you're not an entertainer and you know someone who is an entertainer who would like to be, or you would like to see on the Preferred Few, there's also a form for that where you can submit someone you would like to see on the Preferred Few. So definitely go check those out. Because I have a lot in plan, but I want a lot more. So yeah, I'm looking to do one Preferred Few like every month. Sometimes, if depending on the month, stacking on two if available, or a special occasion situation. However, that still needs people, and I still have plenty scheduled. But you can never have enough. So.
Exactly.
And speaking of those the Preferred show Quirky Queens just wrapped this weekend. It was definitely a fantastic crowd. The crowd was so lively and so fun. I had a lot of fun, and I feel like all of the entertainers did. I know Gina did. She always has fun down in Dothan, allegedly. And we all made our coin. They were tipping the girls for sure. They were tipping out 5s and 10s, and I was like, oh Lord.
We love when they show up and actually tip.
But that brings us to the Preferred show, which comes out May 11th. The teaser will be coming around the corner, so stay tuned for that. And it's a very we'll say sexy cast. We'll go with that. It's a very sexy cast.
I'm excited, even though I'm not going to be there. But
yeah, Amber is not included in this The Perfect Few, so or preferred show. Excuse me.
We got to make sure we got the time off.
Go ahead and take your hopes off of that because that will not be happening. But speaking of new things to come, Drag the Competition, which happens every second Friday, is still in full swing. However, we have a brand new co-host for Drag the Competition, so stay your eyes peeled for that because that will be announced very, very soon. However, Ember Xerxes, who is my current co-host, or I guess was my current co-host, is taking a little vacation from drag. So we've moved on to another co-host for the time being. And it's actually someone who has participated in drag and who has done it quite a few times. And I feel like has enough history or knowledge to be the co-host. So yeah, stay tuned for that announcement coming very, very soon. And finally, a few more things, but nextly to come out on the YouTube channel is Rate This Queen, which is a very, very special video, a celebratory video, if you shall say, of my drag anniversary, which is this Saturday. So there will be a new look coming for my drag anniversary. And then that Sunday it's actually Amber and I, spoiler alert, we did a very special video called Rate This Queen where we go through all of my drag looks for my 6 years of doing drag.
Yeah.
I'm getting so old.
We read her for Phil's.
Yeah.
So you're definitely going to want to go watch it.
So similar to what we do on the podcast where we rate the individual queens of Drag Race, that's what we decided to do, but with me. With this queen instead of these queens. So yeah, make sure to stay your eyes peeled for that because it's going to be a very quirky and fun video. And then after that, we have another trivia show coming out. Yeah. With some very interesting guests that you'll definitely have to stay tuned for because it's going to be a very funny episode.
With all of those exciting new things to come,
it's time for your exciting new questions.
Click the link in both of our bios to ask your questions today.
So my question for you is quite simple. And we're talking about numbers of in the sentences. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it says how, and then in all capital letters, let me underline that, old are you? It literally was in all capital letters.
And that really was shady. I am a great young age of 22 years old.
You were a
No. I will actually be 28 years old in November.
Get old.
We're getting closer to 30, girl. I can hear 30 whistling.
I can hear the 0. Your head is screaming.
I can hear the bells of 30.
And much like you want to be, I'm 23, for those who care. I feel old, so I can only imagine what 28 feels like.
Oh, girl, she hurts.
23 hurts. 23 so be cracking the bones for sure.
All right, Miss Ajay, your question reads, and there is no context to this, so I do not mean this in any contextual way. What is happening to you and this one person?
And I've seen that on there for.
I know, and I don't know what they mean by what person.
I think that this was released whenever I did the first that question was released when I did the first Q&A with the ghost, and I think they were talking about my ex.
Oh, okay.
But we're gonna veer off from that. So. What's one person in my life that I can talk about and not legally get in trouble for or be, put down for? Let's see. Oh, I got it. Let's talk about Flapjack. Okay. So Flapjack was my most recent guest on the Preferred Few. And for those this honestly really wasn't like big T. Those who were close to me knew it because one, they were either there when it happened or they saw how affected I was by it. But Flapjack and I had some issues in the past, and it was honestly huge miscommunication. As it usually is. And intoxicated communication.
That especially.
However, the beef was resolved almost immediately. It was a few weeks after, to be honest, but it was almost immediately, and we then have been, fine. We've even worked together since then. Not in drag together, but I have been to shows that she's performed in, and I've helped out in shows that she's performed in. So, like, I mean, there's no beef. I don't know. I can't really answer that question, because that's the only person I can really think of, and it's just because I just filmed a video with them and we had previous beef.
I was saying that's actually talked about in the video, if you guys want to watch it.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. What's between you and this person? This person that wants to ask? There ain't nothing. What?
We just made up a person for that person.
Yeah, literally. Stop trying to get tea when there is no tea. Anyways.
There's tons of tea.
No.
And it's sweet tea.
Ew. The worst kind of tea. Don't forget to ask your question today. Link in the bio.
Leave a question. And your name for a mention. 1-800 Ask Now You Ho.
With us being all talked out, it's time to end the episode. Make sure to follow all of my socials at The Only Preferred for brand new videos, shows, and looks, including my drag anniversary, 6 drag anniversary looks coming out this Saturday.
Slay. While you're following her, follow me on all my socials at Amber_V_Valentine for new looks, new videos, and some new things to come.
Comment who your favorite was in this episode of RuPaul's Drag Race.
And follow for more episodes. Well, I guess follow for the last episode of the Preferred Podcast every Wednesday on Spotify and YouTube.
It's been nice talking.
And we'll talk to you later.
As always, stay preferred.
And full of love.